everyone, I'm Teacher April. In our Magic Years classroom, we can have anywhere from 1 to 4 students. So if you're a new teacher or like me, you're used to teaching on a one-on-one platform, it can be hard to know how to change your instruction based on how many students you have. So today I'm going to give you my best tips on how to differentiate instruction so that you have a great class and finish between 25 and 28.5 minutes, no matter how many students you have. So let's start with introductions. My go-to question for all of my students is, what is your name? So if I have 3 or 4 students, that's the only question I'm going to ask them. I'm going to get them to tell me their name, I'm going to give them a trophy, I'm going to praise them and move on quickly to the next student. If I have 1 student or 2 students, I'm going to extend a little bit more. I may ask them another question like, how are you? I might notice something on them or on their background and make a comment about it. I also might drag both students up and have them give me high fives, or I also like to say, everyone, say hello, hello if I've got 2 students, just to extend a little bit more so that no matter how many kids I have, I'm taking up about 1.5 minutes for those intros. So here is a title slide. If I have 3 or 4 students, my teaching on this page might look something like this. Class, look! Today our lesson is Let's Make a T-shirt. Can you say T-shirt? Great job. And at this point, I might move on if this were a regular title slide. This title slide, though, has some teacher directions that asks you to have the students circle some of the objects related to the lesson. So in this case, I might ask the students, class, do you see scissors? Can you circle the scissors? Yes, excellent, Elizabeth. Class, say scissors. Scissors. Good. Class, do you see a ruler? Where is the ruler? Yes, Ellen, awesome job. Everyone say ruler, ruler. And then at this point, I would probably move on. Now, if I have 1 or 2 students with this slide, I'm probably going to have them individually say the entire title. So I would bring the student up and say, today our lesson is Let's Make a T-shirt. Ready? Let's make a T-shirt. Let's make a T-shirt. Very good. And then I would do that with the next student. Then I will ask them to circle each of these objects in turn. Of course, probably mixing up the order, asking if they can circle the scissors, the paper, then the pencil, then the ruler, and teaching 1 or 2 students the names for each of these objects. So let's move on to the Let's Practice slides. First, I'm going to show you what an individual interaction might look like if you have 3 or 4 students. I would bring the student up and it might look something like this. T-shirt. Yes, good. Say T-shirt, T-shirt. Awesome! And then I trophy and move on to the next student. Now, if I have 1 or 2 students, my interactions might look something like this. Wayne, can you say T-shirt? Good! Ready? T-shirt, T-shirt. Wonderful job, Wayne. Wayne, is this a T-shirt? Yes or no? No, not a T-shirt. Ooh, Wayne, is this a T-shirt? Yes, it is. Can you say, it is a T-shirt? Yes, wonderful job, Wayne. Thank you. Now, if I have 2 students, I'll move on and I'll go to the next student to do that same interaction. If I have 1 student, though, I might show even more not props. I might show my spider. Is this a T-shirt? No, right? I might show rubber chicken. Is chicken wearing a T-shirt? Yes or no? No, no, no. So there's lots of different not props that I could bring in for this particular word. So if you're trying to stretch it because you've got 1 student, keep them coming. I usually try to end with the actual thing that matches the word just to solidify it in their minds. But you can have a lot of fun with that with 1 student. So here is a conversation slide, which is very common in Magic Year's lessons. And by the way, the tips I'm about to give you can really apply to any slide where you have one character asking the question and another character answering the question. So if I have one student, I am going to be that student's partner. I am going to ask the question and the student will answer on one of the turns, and then we will switch. The student will ask and I will answer. And again, if I have that one student, I'm probably going to extend even further. I'm going to ask the student to circle the word paper, to circle the object paper. I might have that student write the word paper or clap out the spelling of the word paper, just to make sure that I am extending for that one student. If I have two students on this slide, they are of course going to be each other's partners, so it might look something like this. Sarah, say, "Where can I draw?" Great job. Andy, say, "Let's draw on this piece of paper." Great, and then I will probably switch them and have them do the same thing. At that point, that would probably be the extent of my extension though. Now, if I have 4 students and I know there's another conversation slide after this slide, I'm going to choose 2 of those students to have this conversation. Student 1 might ask the question and student 2 can answer. Then I will go to the next slide where student 3 will ask the question and student 4 will answer. If you look at the teacher directions, it just says bring 2 students up. So that means you do not have to bring every student up to be in every single situation in this particular part of the lesson. Now, if I have 3 students, I'm going to kind of do a rotation through all of my students. I'm still going to bring only 2 students up for this slide. So, for example, student 1 asks, student 2 answers. On the next slide, student 2 will ask, and then student 3 will answer. On the next slide, student 3 will ask, and student 1 will answer. So I'm rotating all of the students through asking and answering. Everybody has gotten a turn to do both, but I'm still moving the lesson along to the end. So now let's look at how you might teach a slide like this where the sentences are not review like you previously saw. So if I have one student, that student is going to repeat everything after me individually, right? I'm going to bring the student up next to me and have them repeat after me. How can we cut it? How can we cut it? Good. Okay, Amanda, say, we need a pair of scissors. We need a pair. Excellent job, Amanda. Okay, you ask teacher. So at this point, then I become that student's partner. I will have Amanda ask me this question, and then I will answer it. Then we will switch. I will ask her, she will answer it. So she's getting practice with both of those because she's my only student. Again, I'm probably going to extend. I'm going to ask her to circle the word scissors, or to circle the scissors, or to draw something or spell something for me if I have the time. Now, if I have 2, 3, or 4 students, here's how I usually do this slide. I will say, okay, students, can you say, how can we cut it? How can we cut it? Now they're all repeating after me all together. Then, okay, students, can you say, we need a pair of scissors? We need a pair of scissors. Good. And now I'll start some more individual interactions. With 2 students, 1 student will ask, 1 student will answer. They can switch if you have time, or you can move on from there. With 4 students, 1 student asks, 1 student answers. You bring the other 2 up, same process. With 3 students, you start rotating them through again till everybody's have a turn. So student 1 asks, student 2 answers, student 2, student 3, student 3, student 1. Everybody's got a turn saying one of the sentences on there, and they also have actually said all of them because you introduced it in the beginning to have all of them say it. And at that point, you can move on. Now, if you are really short on time and you have 4 students, feel free to just have all the students repeat this sentence after you all together, and then repeat this sentence after you all together. If you look at the teacher directions, that's what it asks you to do. Read the sentences and have the students repeat after you. You have followed those directions and you can move on. If you have a little bit more time, sometimes I like to bring them up 2 by 2. So for example, I might have 2 students say this phrase for me, and then the other 2 repeat this phrase for me. Doing 2 at a time is a really great way to keep the lesson moving, but also catch some of those pronunciation errors that can be really hard to catch when all 4 students are repeating after you at the same time. So let's look at how you might play a game with different numbers of students. So here is obviously the alphabet lesson AB. If I have 3 or 4 students, probably at the beginning, I'm going to bring all of them up around me and say, okay, watch this. Whoop. What is this, class? Everyone, apple. And obviously I'm probably showing a picture of an apple as well. And I will do that for a couple different slides where all of them are repeating after me. That is definitely satisfying the teacher directions. Then on this particular game, probably all of my students are going to get a turn. So I'll bring one student up individually. Sarah, what do you see? What is it? Yes, little bee. Awesome job, Sarah. She gets a trophy. I put her down, and all the students get at least one individual turn and a trophy on this page if I have 3 or 4 students. If I have 1 or 2 students, then obviously they're all going to get multiple turns. Each of them, 1 student or 2 students, are going to get multiple turns. If I have 1 student, an interaction might look something like this. Alex, what is it? What is it? Yes, bear. Good. Can you say, it is a bear? It is a bear. Excellent job, Alex. Nicely done. So you see, if I have more time, I'm going to extend. I'm going to show him a picture of the bear, obviously. I'm going to maybe ask him, repeat a whole sentence about the bear. If I really need to eat some time here, we can spell the word bear. If he can write, I can write the word bear and he can copy that. Or we can chant the word or chant out the spelling of the word. So whatever you need to do to help that student to learn, but still make sure you're giving them that full 25-minute lesson, go ahead and do it if you've got that one student. So to end this video, I'm going to give you a few more general tips. If you have 1 or 2 students and it becomes clear that you're going to have to do a lot of extension to make sure to reach that 25 minutes, do not wait to the end to do that extension. You don't want to wait till the very last slide, the review slide, and then start extending with 5 to 10 minutes left. That looks really bad to the parents and it's just poor time management. What I do if I'm in that situation, I look for extension opportunities on every single slide. On every slide, I'm looking for an opportunity to have them circle something or say something multiple times, or I'll even have them review the words and phrases that they have already learned before we move on to the next slide. Now, if you have 3 or 4 students and you are crunched for time and you're panicking thinking, I'm not going to finish this lesson before 28.5 minutes, just stick to the teacher directions. Give kids less turns if you need to. You definitely want to have a few opportunities for individual interaction, and of course you're going to do that on the Let's Practice slides, but it's okay to have all the students repeating at once sometimes and then just moving on from there. Correct what you can, but don't spend too long with one student because you know you have to move on. I hope these tips become useful to you. Thank you everyone for watching today, and I wish you all happy teaching. Goodbye.
If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click Bonnie to subscribe and check out this next video we have for you.